Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So very happy to be here. Last year, 2017, has been an extremely good year for India. It is a global average growth rate of 7%. We had foreign tourist growth of 14% last year. And in fact, the revenues went up by 19.2%. So we've done, in terms of numbers, we've done double the numbers. In terms of revenue, we've done it almost 3 times the global average. So it has been an extremely good year for us. In terms of contribution to the economy of India, we contribute about 7% to the GDP of the country and about 13% to the total employment. Last year, in terms of receipts from foreign tourists alone, we got $27 billion, which is approximately about 1,77,850 crores. So that's pretty good money. It's not a bad money. But the big take over the past 4 years is we've created 14.62 million jobs in the tourism sector alone in the past 4.5 years. I think this is an incredible figure, something which will send absolutely shockwaves in the opposition, especially to the young man who leads the opposition. I don't know where he leads or he's at the back, but he's there. So it would send him shockwaves because they've been talking about India having a jobless growth. It's not really that India is the fastest growing economy in the world today at over 8.3%, but we created an incredible number of jobs, 14.62 million jobs in the past 4 years. I think that's fantastic. Today we employ 84 million people in the tourism sector. It's not only that it creates jobs across all segments of the society, from illiterate people to semi-literate, to school dropouts, to school graduates, to college graduates, PhDs, all segments. People with expertise at all levels, I think they are all used in this industry. I mean, take for example this hotel. I'm sure it will be employing X number of people, out of whom so many are highly qualified management people in hospitality industry, but also employs very large number of people who are not otherwise highly qualified. So I think it's really good for equity. I think that's fantastic. This is one of the objectives of the country. So we've done very well, but are we happy? No, I'm not happy at all. India, with its 5,000-year-old civilization, 8,000 kilometers of sea coast, the backwaters, the tropical forests, the houseboats of Kerala, Hon'ble, the deserts of Rajasthan, the incredible luxury of those 5-star hotels in Rajasthan, most of which are palaces converted into hotels. Our luxury trains, 5 of them, the ultimate luxury that you can ever see anywhere in the world on the railway tracks, which takes you from destination to destination. 73% of the Himalayas, Taj, and of course I have 100 things as good as a Taj actually in this country. You go and see Khajuraho temple, see Ellora, see the Sun temple, whole lot of things like that. Go and see Chhatrapati Shivaji's fortresses. I mean, these are all such incredible things to see in India. The entire northeast, 4,500 kilometers of the Himalaya boundary, and the northeast with its orchids and its beautiful dances and singing. India is beautiful, and I just opened the National Institute of Culinary Services in Tirupati yesterday. The Honorable Vice President opened it, the first one in India. We spent about 100 crores setting it up. I mean, look at the food of India. It's just not one. You can't just go and say, now give me Indian food. You got to say, you want from which province? 29 states of India, then union territories. Not only that every state has its cuisine. Take for example my state of Kerala. From district to district we have a different cuisine. We specialize in different things. And such an incredible thing. So we are incredible. Truly we are incredible. Even as Minister for Tourism and after being in public life for 40 years, I've seen barely 1% of India. That's what the Honorable Prime Minister says, go abroad and see. Last year we sent 24 million people abroad. But he also says, please see India, there is so much to be seen here. So we also encourage domestic tourism in a big way. And today we find that a good percent of India approximately 400 to 500 million people in India can't afford anything. I mean, Indian travelers abroad are some of the best travelers. They spend big money. And Indian tourists, domestic tourists, they are willing to spend big money. So I think all this is great for Indian tourism. Last year we had Indians, domestic tourism, we had 1.8 billion, not million, 1.8 billion trips being made by Indians within India itself. So this is a big driver of the tourism economy. And in a few years, we shall be one of the largest tourism economies in the world. As it is, we are one of the fastest growing tourism economies in the world. But we also have problems. Take, for example, tourism from China. China is the biggest outbound market in the world. China sent out 144 million people last year. And how much did India get? 240,000. Now, we just across the mountains, 4 hours, 5 hours flight. We share so much of cultural heritage with China, so much of ideological, heritage we have with China. Buddhism went from here to China. And of course, Chinese travelers traveled extensively in India and wrote on their main source of Indian history. So we have so much closeness. Our Honorable Prime Minister has gone to China, and we've got very close to China, and they are all very keen to promote, but still we're getting only 240,000 people when they send out 144 million people. Now, that numbers are too few. So my objective is, in spite of having such phenomenal growth last year, we are not happy. Our objective is very simple. In 3 years, I want to double my foreign tourist arrivals. I want to double my incomes from FTA. I want to reach $50 billion by 2020. I want to reach $100 billion in 5 years. And we want to double everything. So this is something which is achievable. And one of the areas which we think can make a big progress is wellness tourism. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Who doesn't want to be well? Who doesn't want to be happy? I think everybody wants. So I think if you are not well, there's nothing that you can look for. And therefore, wellness is a key to life, to everything. And therefore, it's the most important segment. And what does India hold for wellness tourism? Well, I think there are many segments, many verticals in that. I mean, if you take the traditional allopathic medicine, we have some of the best doctors in the whole world in India. If you look at the British medical system or the American system, you'll see the very large number of doctors there who are highly qualified are from India. My friend Vijay Joli has been traveling around the world. He's been the convener of the BJP overseas. Can you raise your hands? Let everybody, yes. Been traveling across the world, organizing people behind the Honorable Prime Minister. We have some of the best doctors all around the world. In India, extremely large number of doctors who are fantastic, who are best in their field. We also have fantastic hospitals, very, very good hospitals. And the treatment in India comes at a fraction of the cost of what it really costs anywhere else in the world. So why not India be a destination for, the allopathic system? Why not? I think we can be, but I think there are a couple of things to be done. I was talking to some tourists and operators. They said none of your hospitals have language interpreters. Like if the Chinese need to come, a lot of them don't speak English. Some do now. I've been to China 5 times. Big change from 1993 when I went there first. Now a lot of people speak Chinese, but still very large number don't speak. And therefore, why don't we have Chinese interpreters in our big hospitals? Number one. Why not? Let's start with maybe 10, 15, 20, 25 hospitals. I think we need to really think about these things and act on these things. I've been speaking about this, but nobody has done it. That won't do. If you mean business, let's get down to doing it. Number two, why don't you, the complaint is, you don't serve the kind of food which we want. Now, I think hospitals individually should specialize in certain kind of clientele. Suppose this particular hospital, let's say it specializes in Chinese clients. They can have Chinese interpreters there. You can have Chinese food there. Again, it's extremely important, the food part of it. It's not being provided now. Well, Indian food is fantastic, but suppose somebody doesn't like your spices. Now you have a problem. Like the other day, I went to a hotel out of the great love and affection because there were 10 people all surrounding me and said, what do you want, sir? Ultimately, I said, I'll have an omelette. It had so much of chilies. directly proportionate to the love and affection they were showing me, there was enough of chilies. Now, I had a huge problem for the next 2 days. Now, so you need to be careful. What is it that they are looking for, not what we are looking for? I think it's extremely important. So, since all hospitals can't have food of, let's say, 15 countries, cuisine from 15 countries, I think we need to possibly specialize. Okay, this hospital will specialize in Chinese food. We'll have a Chinese interpreter. Another can take up Japanese and say Japanese language, another can do Spanish, and I think that's a sensible thing to do most probably. So I think we need to really work out and see who gets to work in which area. Again, another area where I think India can do a fantastic job is in the dental services. I mean, it's so incredibly expensive. Every time my son wants dental services to be done from, my elder son lives in London, the younger one in New York, they don't do it there, they fly down to India. They say it's so much cheaper, even after you pay the ticket, it's so much cheaper to be flying down here and getting the dental services done here. So we have fantastic doctors here and we have excellent hospitals. So I think these are areas where we need to publicize. Now, if you want me in the ministry to do the publicity, I'm willing to do it. I think we are fantastic at doing it. I don't know how many of you have seen the promotionals we do these days. I think we are beating Samsung and Apple and everybody else in promotionals. Like my promotional on yoga, everything is only 1 minute after I come in. We make these 60-second movies, we made 5 of them, and collectively they had more than 200 million views, not hits, views, complete views. Like the one on yoga has more than 75 million views. I don't know which other promotional has that many. And one on Ayurveda again has approximately about 75 million views. So we make these promotionals. We are putting it into all the languages in the world, and so we can do the big promotional. Like you see, this kind of stuff which was being made by my company was absolutely rubbish. So I called them, I said, I'm giving you one last opportunity. You make me this movie 1 minute and not longer, and if it's not good enough, I said, I'm going to throw you out. I mean, you're a global company. So they got down to work. See, when it's government work, they don't care. I think they would get all these, second string people to make a movie because the L1, the lowest quotation, gets the movie right and therefore he makes rubbish and nobody sees it. Now each of these 5 promotionals I have made, I've spent 10 hours on each of these for finalizing. For the rough cut, each comma, each full stop, each syllable, each frame out there is with my approval. So that's the kind of effort we have made. We make the effort, we make these movies. We are now we put it into 12 languages. So if you go to China, you'll see my yoga ad. You'll see my wildlife ad. I think some of these are made fantastic. I think please watch them, okay? The first one is called Yogi of the Racetrack. That's one on yoga. We're completely redefining. So let me come to the second segment, Ayurveda. I think if you just go to say Ayurveda is just massages, few medicines to be taken, I think that doesn't do justice. Let me give you the philosophy behind it. The philosophy comes from the yoga philosophy. People keep asking me, you talk about this 5,000-year-old civilization, what is it? I can crystallize into very simply into yoga philosophy. What is that? It's a belief that you and I, we are one. The entire humanity is one. We go beyond that and say the entire universe is one. That's the fundamental belief. Therefore, if you and I are one, the entire universe is one, what are the implications? It doesn't stop at that philosophy. It's a worldview, it's a lifestyle. What does it mean? It means happiness is indivisible. I can't decide, me and my children will be happy. No, it doesn't happen. It cannot happen as per the Indian system, as per our yogic philosophy. You got to make the world happier for you to be happier. It's very intrinsic. You cannot have happiness all by yourself. And therefore, if that's what happens, if the other is part of me, we won't have wars. We won't have poverty. We won't have deprivation. When there is a flood in Kerala, your heart across the globe should bleed. And that's what happened in Kerala. If you ever came and saw in Kerala, the way the entire state of Kerala, people got together, from little kids, from the little allowances they were getting, to school children, to college children, everybody was out there getting things together, bringing things together, putting things together. My God, I never seen such a spirit anywhere in the world. Let me call it the spirit of Kerala. It's just incredible. That is what is yoga. Where you feel that any deprivation, anywhere in the world, is a deprivation for me, I think that's the essence of it. Now, Ayurveda comes from the same spirit. If you and I are one and the rest of the universe is one, the cure for me, my wellness doesn't lie in some chemical factory or in some pharmacist shop. It lies in the universe itself. It's right here. What the universe produces. I mean, this is the essence of it. So it's just not a massage, it's not that. There's a whole lot of philosophy. I think anybody who's into this must learn this philosophy first and sell it to people and say, this is the whole philosophy of it. I think Ayurveda holds the future. I think this is where the future of the country is. And of course, my state of Kerala is very famous traditionally. For thousands of years we practice, but now the whole lot of people are picking up, which is very, very good, because it shouldn't really be localized into a place. I think we should move it across the country. I think it's extremely important. And of course, the whole lot of people, because of our yoga being made International UN Day, 21st of June, it's the International United Nations Yoga Day, 21st of June. Now everybody across the world is doing yoga, including in China. Thousands of people are getting together. So how do I bring them to India? If they do yoga in China, how does it benefit me? So I keep telling them, you got to breathe the Indian air. You have to breathe the air here and do the yoga, okay? Then only it will benefit you, because the kind of milieu which is hanging around here, you go to Rishikesh, a place like that. You know, the Swami there, the most famous Swami there, he's my friend, so I keep going to his institution. The kind of atmosphere which you see there is just incredible. You just can't be doing it in a park and doing the somersault and say, yes, I've done yoga. No. You got to breathe with the other people, feel one with the universe, feel with the other person. Then only really yoga does you good. So these are things which are so important. So we need to also standardize our practices. I think the problem with some of our things is, how do we standardize, have a standard protocol for, let's say, Ayurveda? I think these are the things which we need to kind of talk about. A problem in this country is you don't have a standard protocol for many things. You don't have. Even in allopathy, there's a problem here. You don't have a standard protocol. I'm told all over the world you have very clearly laid down standard protocol for various things. So this is what happens, this is what will happen, this is a procedure, this is a procedure. But here I think it is too individualistic. I think this is where you need to lay down protocols, because the system of knowledge is very clear, the Ayurveda. It is not something which, somebody decides. It's there in our scriptures. It's come down from ages together. So we need to have our systems put together so that there is a certain protocol. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I see this as a transformative part of it. I don't tell people, come and see India. Before I became a minister, my ministry was saying, come and experience India. Now we go beyond that and say, come and be transformed. You would never be the same again if you come to India. You go back a different person. You will say, wow, I'm different. I look at the world differently. So this is what I think we need to do in our wellness programs. It's just not about physical wellness. It's just not about mental wellness. I think it's more about wellness of the soul. How does the soul get well? You got to be physically well. You got to be mentally well, otherwise your soul can't be. I'm not talking about salvation, okay? So like if you see my yoga ad, it says, the final punchline is, as per the Indian system, you have to wait for your karma to materialize, to be reborn. But the punchline in my ad says, you don't have to wait for a rebirth to be you again. It says Ayurveda does it. So see the ad, okay? Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely happy this conclave is happening, and let's come out with documented stuff on how things can be made better. I would be very happy to share these ideas with people, and if you can document whatever is being discussed here and get it into suggestions, and then we could sit across the table and we could see how that can be taken across the country. And so I'm extremely happy that this is being organized. Congratulations to the organizers. And I see that in spite of the traffic jams, Everybody is turned up here very much on time except one person. Some people think I don't notice all this when somebody walks in. I do. Yeah. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful time. Delhi this time is a very pleasant time, nice weather. So enjoy yourself, and those who come from abroad, just don't stop with Delhi. Travel. Travel across India. There is so much. There's a lifetime to see in India. Go experience and be transformed, and if you have further time, please visit my state of Kerala. Tourism is absolutely back on its feet. In fact, the Kerala Travel Mart is happening just a couple of days from now on, from 27th onwards. So they are back on its feet. There are more delegates this time than ever before. So everything is back on its feet, but it will be good if people from abroad and India travel to Kerala and occupy the rooms and use the services there, so that, it will help the state of Kerala to bounce back more quickly. So thank you very much.